I had told you this story before also, but why I told you again I forgot. Now I remember that why I had to tell you, because while listening to Osho yesterday in the morning, I realized that why it happened to me and how it happens to few people, not to everyone. This, you can call it out of body experience, or out of body experience doesn't mean that your body is going traveling somewhere. Body is just dead. Body is totally immaterial there. Your consciousness has it is just your belief that your consciousness is confined to this body. Otherwise, consciousness has no limitation. So when you experience it on your own for the first time, you will feel like it's like the boundary line, the limitation of consciousness is broken. So for that, your energy has to again come back to your navel center, which is your primary center, or you can call it primordial center. You can even call it primitive center, your natural center, your wild center. And we have lost all connection with that because of our education, which is teaching us only, which is nourishing only our left brain. So we are just hanging in our brain. We have lost even connection with our feeling, with our heart center. So that's why Osho says that it's not, you cannot reach to your being from your head. You will have to pass through the heart center. Heart is in the middle. And the center for being is this navel center, with which we have lost all connection because of being all the time too logical, too mathematical, all the time thinking about business. We have even lost connection with heart. Even when you are being with someone, when you are meeting someone, it's not mostly heart to heart connection, it is more head to head connection. We are more concerned how to use that person for your own benefits. So everyone is doing the same. We are all 24 hours a businessman. Only when we are asleep, then we are, in spite of us, at that time we are no longer businessmen, because that is not in our hand. Otherwise we are all the time, we have profit motive. All our relations are for our profit. So when to know yourself, you need tremendous desire, this burning desire to know yourself. That is the willpower. And the center for will is this navel center. Until and unless your navel center is awakened, you cannot have one pointed will. You cannot have this burning desire. So either you have to do everything, all effort to reach to your navel center. Or when your energy is at the navel center, then you will have undivided will. It's not that one part of your mind is desiring that I will wake up early in the morning and do meditation, and when in the morning the other part is dominant, and then it says such a good sleep is coming. let me sleep for a little longer. So once you have this will, one pointed, one will, no division within it, you will be able to decide what you want to do. So at that time my will was, for a long time I was preparing, first in my own room for, I don't remember how many days, maybe 1 month or 2 months or whatever time I was meditating. But it was almost the whole time I was meditating at that time. That created that strong will. Because I took the decision, whatever happens, even if I have to die, because everything has lost its importance. Now the only important thing was to know myself, whether I will become a beggar or whether I will die, it makes no difference. My one pointed search was to know myself. Whatever happens, even if I die, the very moment I realize the truth, that was also accepted. So I was ready to gamble, I was ready for anything, any consequence. So that's why Osho has said that those people who meditate, about 33% of the people, they will have this out of body experience. And it happens only to those in whom the will has become one. Just 100% of your energy is moving in one direction. Only then you can have that experience. But that is not the case with most of the people. They are desiring so many contradictory things at the same time. They have not gathered all their desire in one direction. So once your will becomes one, once you are just going in one direction, then these things happens, whatever happened, the whole energy collected at the navel center, and then there was this release, and I could know the consciousness which is unbounded, which is uncreated, which is there without any cause, without any reason. It's in Hindi it is called bin bati bin tel. Our consciousness, it has no source, or it has its source in the very existence. It exists without any wick and without any while. It needs no while to be there. That's why because it is not dependent on any source, so it is eternal. Otherwise, once the source is consumed, once the while is consumed, then the light will be gone. The light of the lamp, the light of the diya. But because it is sourceless, or its source is within it, so it cannot be consumed. So only if your will becomes one, and when your will is one, only then you can move your energy from head to heart and from heart to being. Otherwise you are stuck at your head. And when the energy moved at the heart center, I think that was the time when all those things I could had the glimpse of all those enlightened masters. They were so, it was so resplendent, it was so powerful, their presence inside me, which you cannot create in any picture. So when your heart energy is open, when your heart is open, then you can take risk to die, to know yourself. That's why it is said by Gorakh, maro hi jogi maro, maro maran hai meetha. Us marni maro jis marni Gorakh ditha, something like that. That means, oh yogi, die before your death. This death is sweet. Die like Gorakh. Because Gorakh died, he could know himself. So it can happen only when you become one inside. Otherwise, if your energy is scattered, then it won't happen. So in India they say ek sadhe sab sadhe, sab sadhe sab jai. That means if you are trying to make one thing perfect, everything will become perfect in you. If you are trying to make everything perfect, nothing will become perfect. Because you are not digging at one place, so how the water will come? That's why Osho says that in our laundry list, meditation is the last. And only when meditation is the first, then you will be able to know yourself. Do you have anything to ask about it?
For now, no, it's very clear, Swami.
Then you ask that one, the Lakshmi.
Okay, Swami.
Ask.
Okay, so my question is, the story between Lakshmi and Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi is well known. And my question is, how does a cow understand what Sri Ramana Maharishi said? Because Sri Ramana Maharishi has said that the Lakshmi understands everything. So my question is, she doesn't understand the words being said. How can she understand everything? And even the miracle is that she has become enlightened in a cow's body. So my main question is actually, how does she understand?
Because we are trying to understand everything from our intellect. So that's why we get confused. He is not saying that she is understanding all my words. He is saying she understands the language of energy, language of love, language of compassion, and she is totally connected because her energy has understood the tremendous care and love which was in him. So once he found a master who was just love, then she is totally surrendered. These animals are, because they are innocent, they are not complex, they are not left brain monster, they are not overeducated. So that's why they could understand. It's very easy for them to grasp that the energy. She must have been a more evolved cow than most of the cows. Even in animals there is difference. It's not that all the animals are same. They are also unique. They are also evolving in a way. And it is said, even scientists have said that they have very great emotional intelligence. When Osho is saying that you will have to reach to your heart center, from head you cannot come to your being, then it makes the for some animals, for some rare animal, it will be easy. Their journey can be easy if their emotion is very pure. Then she has to travel only from heart to being. She She understood nothing, no Vedas, no Gita, nothing, not even the language which Raman Maharshi was speaking. But she could understand his love, she could understand the energy, his presence, his energy. She could feel that love in his sound. So he will be always waiting for her. He will never begin his discourse if she was not present. Many times people will be surprised. They will see everyone is here. He said that my most devoted disciple is not yet here. I will wait till it comes. So she will be always there at the right time. She will put her head inside the window and she will be listening. So she was totally in love with him. So on the day when she died, she didn't come. So he waited for her, and he felt that something must have happened to her. And he went, and she was just in pain. She was about to leave her body, and she was waiting for him only. When he came, he touched her, and then there were tears in her eyes. And she was just waiting for him, because she may have some problem. She fell down or something, and she could not come there. That I don't remember exactly. He went himself, and then she died in his lap. She became totally fulfilled. So the pure love which was between them made her liberated. She was totally fulfilled. So there was no need for any birth for her. Otherwise she would have been born again, maybe as a bull or some other animal who were stronger than her. They must also be having desire how their birth happens. Maybe when some animal is tortured by a stronger animal, there must be desire that I should be born like that animal. They don't speak the language, but they have the energy also. They understand the language of love very well. So she must have been totally fulfilled. So there was no need to take anybody anymore. Raman Maharshi was a very silent man. His silence could be grasped by those who were receptive. He had not much technique. His technique which is known is that he would ask his people who came to him that you just ask who you are, who am I. That was his technique. That was not that you go on asking within you, who am I. That is just bogus. That should penetrate in your very being, to the very center of your life. This question, this quest, this inquiry should go penetrate to your very center, who you are. And once you are totally silent, then something will be revealed or realized which cannot be expressed in word. And there will be no answer in the word, but you will get the answer, which is not something superficial that in words you will get the answer. You will be transformed, and that is the answer. You will reach to your very potentiality. What Maslow said, self-actualization. That is also our need. In his hierarchy of need, that was the highest. Is it clear or not?
It's clear, but I have one small question for me. So I ask, so you see, Lakshmi has been liberated from a cow's body because she was totally fulfilled. So can a human also become liberated also because of becoming totally fulfilled?
What do you mean by totally fulfilled?
I don't know, because you said Lakshmi, she was totally fulfilled, so she was liberated.
So either love can fulfill you totally. Because of his love, she also became pure love, totally love. Or if you have developed other faculties, you have brain, you have intelligence, then you need to purify all those things also before you can settle in your being. You can know yourself. So your journey will be more, it will require more alertness, and it is like what they say, it is walking on the edge of razor. So for human being, it is said that when the question doesn't arise in other being, they don't have any desire to know themselves. Because they are like, the question has not arisen because they have no pain, they have no suffering. It is the head that creates suffering. It is our desire. Because whatever we are desiring things which are not natural. We want fulfillment from things. Things cannot fulfill us. Things can give us comfort, but things cannot fulfill us. So only when your consciousness is freed from all darkness and you are settled in the consciousness, you have become the consciousness. So for human being, the journey is, if you are a simple person, then the journey can be easy. But if you are a very mental person, then you will have to get disidentified with your mind, with your emotions. When you are disidentified, then those things are purified. But if even a human being becomes pure love, just like Meera, then that person will be liberated. It is the love that will make that person conscious also. The love has to be not emotional mumbo jumbo. Now is it clear or not? You look more confused.
Was Meera in that state because she was a more simple person, like not complex like today's people? We are complex, we have very developed mind, very complex mind, so we can't be like in Meera's state.
No, it is all just bullshit that you think we have a very developed mind, very complex mind. It is only maybe scientists who have very developed mind. Otherwise, common people are just, maybe they are less intelligent. Don't boast your ego too much that. The computer was not there, so Meera didn't know computer, but that doesn't mean she has no intelligence. That was her intelligence, that she went straight like the arrow to her destination, not moving here and there. So she was a very pure soul. So anything, physical pleasure, sex, all those things had not any meaning for her. She was in search for the true love. And that must have been, this journey was not something only of this life. That's why it is said that Meera said herself that she was Lalita at the time of Krishna, one of the gopis who loved Krishna. So, no one can become Meera just out of blue. And intelligence is not only of the head, it is of the heart also. So she has different kind of intelligence. And her head must also have been quite developed, not that she had no developed head. She was a princess, so she was living in a very cultured environment. And in India, if you see, there have been so many women sages in the past also. They were not less intelligent than any modern man. If you compare Buddha or Astavakra or Krishna or anyone, any of the Upanishadic sages, they had greater intelligence than modern man. We are all the time comparing because we have science, we have a developed science, but they knew about science also in India. They were the first who discovered the law of gravitation, or the earth is not the center, it is the sun, and it is rotating. Earth is also moving, it is not something static, and it is round, not flat. So they knew all those things. So they were not, can you know all those things on your own if you were not reading in books? But there were people who told these things far before any Western scientists could know. But then science, what is science? Science is an effort of thousands and thousands of scientists. That's why it has become so developed. Newton is standing on the shoulders of, not Newton, Einstein is standing on the shoulder of Newton. So he could see more further. And Heisenberg is sitting on his shoulders. So that's why, because in spirituality you have to travel the whole way on your own. Other can be just an indication, can show you, but you have to travel the whole way. But in science, anyone, whatever they discover, you can use it without understanding its secret. We don't know what is electricity, but we can use it. Anyone can get benefited. If our intelligence is not helping us, if it is creating more and more prison for us, then how you can say that we are very intelligent? We have a very complex. This complexity is just creating confusion, nothing else. But in this way, we can just console ourselves that Meera was a very simple person. It is enough that you didn't say she was simpleton and you are of great intelligence. Why all the time comparing yourself with Meera? Was she your enemy or what?
No, Samia, I'm not comparing in that kind of sense that she's my enemy. I'm comparing in the sense that she's my idol, Swami.
She was. It must have been her many past life work that she became Meera. Not anyone can become Meera suddenly. But she was total in that she had only no other desire other than to become one with Krishna. If you have only one desire, if you have understood that it is stupidity that you are trying to know everything, you are trying to become jack of all trade, those who can master nothing. So if her whole energy was moving in one direction, that shows she was very intelligent. That's all. Otherwise, if you think if she was not using computer was not there at that time, and even if it was there, she would have not become lost in that. She could definitely use computer. Now idiots can also use, so how she could not have used if she was here.
Yes, Swami.